All my movie-loving maniacs, I'm back. I know it's been a while since I've done one of these, but hey, I'm back, but I'll explain more later. But here's a review of It for you. It is an adaptation of the Stephen King book of the same name, and it is also essentially a remake of the 1990 miniseries It, which had Tim Curry playing Pennywise. And just like the book, it focuses on two different parts. The first part is of the kids, and the second part is of the kids as adults. They are definitely doing the movies the same way, in which this first film, it just focuses on the kids. And then I guess eventually we're going to get the sequel, which comes out in 2019, which centers on the Losers Club as adults. But It is a story of a bunch of kids. They're called the Losers Club, in which they live in this town in which children are disappearing by this clown named Pennywise. Kids are disappearing and dying, and then some weird shit happens to the kids within the group, and so they all come together to figure out how to defeat this thing. Now here's a little backstory of my history with this. Now, originally I had never seen the original It. In fact, I ordered it because I really wanted to see this before I go see this new film. Now after watching this film, I've heard from some people that it's a little scary. Well, honestly, it's just not that scary to me. I don't know, it's because I've seen it so late in life, or it's a product of its time, so I don't know. But I can see why some people might have thought it was scary. But I think one thing that we can all definitely agree on is Tim Curry is hilarious as Pennywise the Clown in the original. Bill Skarsgård is great as Pennywise in this It remake, and as for the rest of the movie, I loved it. And I really mean that. Bill Skarsgård, his take on Pennywise the Clown is just, now it gets to a point where it might be a little hilarious, but then it gets all creepy and scary at a point, because there are definitely times where I was sitting in the theater and I jumped out of my seat and I was just like, holy shit. The kids in this movie are great. The actors that play the kids, like, they're just phenomenon. And like, because this first part of this series, it takes place in the 80s, and it kind of makes me feel like I'm transported into the 80s. It makes me feel like I can relate to these kids. Like, for the main one, he stutters, and he's the one in which his little brother Georgie, he's Pennywise's first victim, and you can definitely feel that, he's the leader of the group, and he's really tired of this shit happening, and he's trying to overcome his fear. And then the other kids, like the fat one, he's a little shy, he's kind of the new one. The back one, Mike Hanlon, I can kind of relate to him because, he's kind of like the token black guy of the group, but then everyone else, he brings them in, and they pretty much make sure he's good. Even the funny one, the kid with the glasses, played by Finn Wolfhard, you might have seen him on the show Stranger Things. I actually just now seen that show, and it's great. I'm not going to do a review of it, but I just love that show, and it was great to see him in this film step out of that, and he was definitely hilarious. Like, there was just not a scene where he made me crack up. Again, what I like about this movie is the character development given to these kids, because there was character development given to the kids in the original It, and they did touch upon it, and it was good for what it was, but I feel like they kind of expanded on this, because I have heard that there's stuff in the book that they left out of the miniseries, and I feel like for the movie, they said, no, we're going to bring it in for this movie so that it brings even more layers to the kids. But I really was truly scared in this movie. Like, I wasn't, like, scared, but it was like, it had the right amount of scary moments, but at the same time, it still focused on the story and filming. You're just going on this journey with these kids, and you just want to see them overcome this situation. And I really think that this was definitely a remake that was worth remaking. Like, this was worthy of a remake, because, like, let's be honest, like, the original one from 1990, like, it was good for its time, but it's kind of outdated now, and I'm just glad that they remade this film and was able to make it in a way that not only was just scary, but expands upon its source material. So in conclusion, I love this film. There was some minor gripes I had with the film, but if I explain it might go into spoiler territory, so that's just me. But again, like, I really did like this film. Like, this is easily one of my top 10 films of the year. I love this film. I'm gonna give it 4 stars for worth money. Thank you so much for watching, and I know I've taken a little bit of a hiatus, but I'm back, and I'm planning on getting a little bit more reviews coming out, especially with this fall season coming, like Thor Ragnarok, Justice League, and Star Wars. Of course, I gotta do reviews on that, but, like, there's some other films coming out that I kind of want to do reviews for, but we'll just have to wait and see. And recently, I started my own podcast called the Lassiter Factor Podcast. It's the podcast where I talk about anything in the world of entertainment, from movies, TV, music, pop culture, you name it. Check it out. It's on my SoundCloud. I'm going to leave the link in the description below. you so much for watching. If you like this video, hit the like button and check out my channel. The link is in the description below. And be sure to check me out on Facebook, Twitter, Tumblr, Instagram, Snapchat, and Periscope. Peace.